Hello everybody and welcome back to the F1 2021 Co-op Career Mode Season 4 with me, Dan, and my co-commentator Nick, with the graphics provided by Mate Missen Lom 1138. As always, we're into round 12 today, approaching the final quarter of the season, and we come to the Mercedes-dominated track, as you can see on screen. All races won here by Mercedes since 2014. Talking of Mercedes, they are not going to win this Constructors' Championship. That goes to Red Bull, but they are ahead quite comfortably of Ferrari, who are in a battle themselves with McLaren. And we'll see if they've put in a good qualifying for this Grand Prix. In the meantime, don't forget to like this video, hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell so you know when every race is uploaded, and comment down below what was your highlight of the Grand Prix as we get on to the starting grid order for today's race. And it's a Red Bull 1-2 with George Russell leading the pack away from his teammate and championship rival Lando Norris. Then it's back to Carlos Sainz. He's alongside Daniel Ricciardo in the first of the Mercedes. Then we're back to Lewis Hamilton and Sergio Perez in the Alpine. And the Justin Freshbot, the first of the Ferraris, lines up in P7 alongside the other Alpine of Esteban Ocon. And rounding out the top 10, we have Guan Yu Zhou and Pierre Gasly, as is a very common sight in this season. Then we've got Max Verstappen in the Williams and Nicholas Latifi, the killer, in P12. Then the Aston Martin duo of Lance Stroll and Antonio Giovinazzi in 13th and 14th. Then it's Valtteri Bottas in the Alfa Romeo and Charles Leclerc in the Haas. Then it's back to their teammates Robert Schwartzman and Mick Schumacher on the penultimate row. And then it's Nikita Mazepin and Radiant Slothz with a handful of penalties. Let's get on with this race.
Russia, a Ferrari in 7th, 1 in 20th.
The land of the bears on unicycles, Radiant Slothz with a massive engine penalty because his Ferrari was handed to him in poor condition. Justin Freshwell under attack from the McLaren on the opening lap. Nicholas Latifi's in there. He's looking to try and blow someone up. Guan Yu Zhou with a massive dive bomb. Justin Freshbot takes the Alonso line.
Slight corner cut, but it's fine.
Sod it. I'm not taking the corner, says Justin Freshbot. He's back into 8th. Radiant Slothz with an enormous dive bomb. He's up to 14th after a couple of corners. A good start for the other Ferrari driver. He's looking to get past Verstappen. Not able to do it just yet. But he's having another look anyway. Ambitious at that point in the circuit. Behind him, Antonio Giovinazzi, another man known for crashing into people on multiple circuits, particularly Justin Freshbot. As we come down the back straight, Radiant Slothz into the slipstream. He's looking up the inside of Max Verstappen.
The corner.
He gets past
That's
Verstappen.
the track extend.
There were no track extends there. He got round. He's gone wide. Verstappen back up the inside. The Williams giving everything he can. Giovinazzi crashes into the back of the Ferrari. Radiant Slothz still holding P14. He's going to have a look into the penultimate corner. He's up the inside of Verstappen on the hard tyres.
He's cut the corner.
He did not.
That is illegal.
He did not cut the corner. He is perfectly
that is
passed.
A crime.
No
a
issues.
Crime has been committed.
As we look on board, Justin Freshbot now going past Esteban Ocon into turn 1. He has been crashed into by the Alpine and has not made the corner again.
Successfully taken the exit road though.
Gets round
legally from Justin Freshbot.
Let's have a look at the onboard at the start whilst I order my curry, which is apparently 10% off when you spend £15.
Justin Freshbot swamped off the line.
What's he going to do?
Heading down into turn 1, into the slipstream.
And all of his options just completely cut off, mainly by that McLaren. So he chooses a new one, which is to corner cut. And then has to hand the positions
He had to do what he could to avoid contact, something Radiant Slothz could learn a little bit about. As we see, probably a crash here.
On board with Radiant Slothz, about to prove my co-commentator wrong, that Radiant Slothz can, in fact, get past some drivers without making contact. Nikita Mazepin nearly runs him into the barrier. Mick Schumacher having an epileptic fit alongside him. And Radiant Slothz with an enormous dive bomb into turn 1. Does not cut the corner. Nearly wheel bangs Giovinazzi.
Giovinazzi saying, "What are you doing?" as Radiant Softs looks to have another crash.
Look at incredible pace for the Ferrari on the medium tyre up against cars on the soft. Excellent driver, future world champion. Right there. I am, of course, talking about Lance Stroll. As Radiant Sloths lines up an overtake on the other Aston Martin driver now. 1 lap later, no DRS just yet. He's tucked in behind. He's looking to the inside again. Up the inside. And Lance Stroll is still fighting, but is not able to keep up much of a defence against that Ferrari. And now Nicholas Latifi, the serial killer, is next up. And we join on board. Using overtake rounds turn, whatever turn this is, turn 2 or 3, it's hard to say.
He's rear-ended the AlphaTauri and track extended. That is disgraceful. Michael Massey turning a blind eye. How much has Radiant Softs paid him, you have to say.
There was no contact there whatsoever. He has got past Nicholas Latifi with his life, which is something that doesn't usually happen. Justin Freshpot about to make a racial attack on the only Chinese driver on the grid. You have to say the conduct from this driver is not on, as they say. He's about to make the overtake. He runs off the track to try and get past, and ultimately justice has been served and he has not passed the Chineseman at the end of the DRS straight. He is going to get another opportunity, though. He is 4 laps behind. A massive track extend from Justin Freshpot. It looks as though...
A gust of wind hitting the Ferrari as he turned. There was nothing he could do about it.
Has he gained a lasting advantage there? It looks as though he might.
He's still behind the McLaren.
He's up the inside of the car. He's crashed into the only Chinese driver on the grid. That is a racial attack. And we're going to look on board. Did this move assist him in gaining?
Massive understeer in the Ferrari. There was nothing he could do. He bounces off the curb. He's losing time to the McLaren. But through some incredible driving, he gets it back. The McLaren there turns into him. Nothing the Ferrari can do.
It didn't sound as though the crowd were particularly impressed with that. But we're back with the other Ferrari. Radiant Sloths trying to make his way back into the points. He's got 2 Frenchmen ahead of him. He will be vomiting in his helmet at the sight of them both. But he's up the inside of 1 into turn 1.5. Now he's got his sights set on Ocon, as long as Pierre Gasly leaves him alone. One of the only drivers outside the top 10 on the medium tyre, he's still able to get past them. Let's have a look on board. Pierre Gasly unfairly moving across. And Radiant Sloths showing Gasly what he thinks about that move. And we're going to be treated once again. Almost round lap 4. We're going to get another overtake from Radiant Sloths on Esteban Ocon. He's already passed before he gets to the corner. Esteban Ocon just could not defend from the sheer speed of the Ferrari. He's up into P8, P9.
Box.
Justin Freshpot's coming into the pits.
Will we see a fast stop here from the Ferrari?
He's missed the pit lane.
He's got the call
he's
late.
going in.
He's got the call very late.
I don't know if that was a late call or whether he just forgot where the entrance was. He trundles down the pit lane. Looks as though no one else is out yet. So potentially is a very early stop for the Ferrari. And he goes on his way, but where's he going to come out? He's got both Aston Martins now. Bottas in front of him. Leclerc, Schwartzman. Looks like Mazepin.
Very far back here. Max Verstappen's so far behind, it's not even on the timing graphs.
Max Verstappen
in
the pit lane.
Schumacher.
Let's see, he's going to...
Will we see a late move? No.
He tucks in behind the Haas.
He needs to get past Schumacher quickly, or this could ruin his strategy, coming through the sweeping corner.
Hey, not closing up too much there. Oh, he's up the inside of
And
Haas.
he's shot up the inside.
Mick
And
Schumacher
that was a quick move.
turns in. We have established in Season 1 that Mick Schumacher is blind, but he turns in and hits the Ferrari just for good measure.
Box, box, box.
Radiant Slothz being told to box to serve his penalty for corner cutting, I imagine.
In he comes. He has found the pit lane. He's not gotten lost on the way there and had to turn without indicating at the last moment. And the other teams are bringing in their drivers as well. Lots of activity going on. Pierre Gasly also in. Behind. Radiant Slothz gets away. The tyre's not doing anything wacky this time during the pit stop. He's going to come out behind his teammate. Pierre Gasly may have gained there.
The Haas twitching down the straight. Justin Freshbot now stuck behind 3 slower cars, ruining his strategy. Well, we see a move on the Williams
Nikita Mazepin
into the next corner.
gushing.
He's going around the outside.
He gets past.
He thinks about it. He slots in between the 2 cars. He goes slightly wide. And it's an overtake on the Alfa Romeo. The questionable legality there, but he's not been told to give the place back, it doesn't seem like.
Justin,
or has he?
He has been told to give the place back. He's been hit by the...
snuck through.
Mazepin crashed into him there. After that embarrassing move, the Russians have been overtaken at the same time by one driver. Embarrassing. As
Justin Freshbot now trying everything to get past these two. He's almost past Mazepin before the DRS even opens on the DRS
up
straight.
the inside. Oh no, that did not look good there.
Not giving him a lot of room.
Oh, there's pieces everywhere, Justin.
Everywhere.
Robert Schwartzman, the filthy driver that he is, crashes into his former teammate at his home Grand Prix just to stop him from being overtaken. This is
Here
the
we see
onboard.
the first move. Justin Freshbot goes round the outside. The Alfa Romeo brakes early. He has to take avoiding action. He runs wide, avoiding the wall. He doesn't realise where the Alfa Romeo is. Told to give the position back. Tries to make the Alfa Romeo go around the outside. He doesn't. Then the Alfa Romeo goes past here. Mazepin almost puts him in the wall. For good measure.
Shocking behaviour from the Russian drivers. Both of them heavily dopamined right now.
He's now Mazepin all over the track. Disgraceful driving. Justin Freshbot with the exit of the century out of that corner. And now we see Bottas just move across. There's nowhere for Justin Freshbot to go.
And that was, in fact, Robert Schwartzman there. Disgusting driving at his home Grand Prix. Justin Freshbot, disorientated by the accident, nearly misses the pit lane for the second time. He follows in the 2 disgusting drivers from rest of world. Although I think we both know where they're from. He would not be impressed with them. Ferrari, efficient as always, have the tyres on the car before they've taken the old tyres off the car, send him on his way. And you can hope that he will have a successful charge from the back of the grid at the safety car restart. Which is where we are right now. As I look through Just Eat
Radiant Slothz
for a particular item on the menu.
Cuts.
Radiant Slothz into
Extends.
he's into the slipstream with Guan Yu Zhou.
He's shouting Chinese food names at the only Chinese driver in Formula 1. That is disgraceful. How can this be allowed to continue as we come to the end of the straight?
Radiant Slothz
He misses a massive corner cut. A humongous corner cut. That is a penalty.
He takes the Justin
He should
Freshbot
not be
line.
allowed in this sport. The McLaren looking for some street justice as we see the Ferrari track extend for good measure.
This is Radiant Slothz on board into the slipstream. Masterful restart from him. The Ferrari, not the fastest in a straight line, but once we get up to speed, into the slipstream and up the inside of Guan Yu Zhou. It's a drag race down to turn 1.
Get ahead.
Late on the brakes.
He brakes late. He knows he can cut the corner. Disgraceful.
Radiant Slothz
Disgraceful.
perfectly happy. This is Justin Freshbot. He's about to get past Robert Schwartzman. This time, no brake check. He shouts slurs at the Russian driver and squeezes him out. quite shockingly, Robert Schwartzman so inexperienced, he has nowhere to go. And now Radiant Slothz chases down Lewis Hamilton, who is in a much faster car, yet somehow he's able to keep up. He's going to look to the inside. Lewis Hamilton defends. Radiant Slothz gets round
him.
Oh, he's gone wide.
Track extended. And then he's hit Lewis Hamilton again. He's tried to push him off the track. This is disgraceful from the Ferrari driver.
He gives him so much room there, going into the chicane. He's up into P6, a very impressive restart. Everyone else around him on the slower tyre. That Ferrari is on fire. Let's see on board. Into the slipstream. Lewis Hamilton
contact.
Tries
Radiant
to crash into
decides he doesn't need to follow the rules on track limits. As he track extends, he hits Hamilton again, pushing him off the track. Corner cuts. And he goes on his way without any care for who he takes out. Justin Freshbot now stuck behind two idiots battling.
The other Russian driver, Nikita Mazepin, making an absolute meal of overtaking the slowest car on the track right now. Justin Freshbot easily passed.
Send an audacious move up the inside. Charles Leclerc gets out of the way of his previous car.
He gets on his way. Will he tuck into the slipstream and get past Nikita Mazepin into turn one? Will Nikita Mazepin brake check him for no reason? Not this time.
Justin Freshbot sits behind. Will we see him move into the next corner again?
He got past him last time, but did exceed the track limits. Let's see if he does it this time. Yeah, Nikita Mazepin turning into the Ferrari.
The Ferrari on the track as well.
Nearly forces Justin Freshbot into the barrier. Had to take avoiding action as the Williams gave him no quarter. He's following another Russian driver, Valtteri Bottas, who is going incredibly slow. He's all over the track. Doesn't even attempt to make the corner.
You have to say, justified in going off track there. Valtteri Bottas clearly out of his mind with this kind of driving.
Let's look on board. Up next is another Russian driver, Max Verstappen. He'll be looking to get past him. All over the track. It's debatable whether he was on the track when he made the pass, but the stewards have allowed it, so we'll just have to live with it. As we see Radiant Slothz running out of ERS, coming round onto lap 12. Penultimate race lap. He's chasing down Sergio Perez, his great rival in this championship. Most likely. Into turn one he goes. He's getting close. He's not cut the corner.
Massive corner cut. That is another penalty for Radiant Slothz.
Justin Freshbot also getting off past Ocon in the background. Oh no, and he's messed up! He's crashed into the curb!
He's hit the wall. That is what Radiant Slothz deserves for his driving during this race.
Justin Freshbot, massive track extend. And Radiant Slothz are forced into the barrier by his own stupidity. Let's go on board. Has ambition got the better of Radiant Slothz? He takes way too much curb.
Massive corner cut. That's what you get.
And things just aren't coming together for this new Ferrari lineup just yet. Change may be on the horizon as we see Justin Freshbot getting past Max Verstappen, the other Russian driver in the race, and another Russian driver, Lance Stroll, up ahead.
Lance Stroll has cut him up. Justin Freshbot will be contacting his insurance company. That was disgusting.
He's 2 places away from the points. He's got Lance Stroll of Russia and Antonio Giovinazzi of Russia in front of them in the Russian-backed Aston Martin team. Will he be able to get past? He's going to have DRS on Stroll going into the final lap. Also, Max Verstappen behind, potentially with DRS.
Justin Freshbot easily past Lance Stroll. No challenge for a driver of this calibre. He makes the apex.
I think there's some debate over whether the apex was made from that camera angle, but we'll have to let it slide. He's got just a handful of corners left to get past the Russian Antonio Giovinazzi. Potentially.
Will Justin Freshpot get points?
Is he going to do it? He's not managed to do it on the DRS straight. He runs a little deep. He's all over the place there, going round the awkward chicane under the bridge. And now he's only got just 3 corners left. 2 corners left. He's going to pull alongside.
Will we see a move?
He's
He pulls
alongside
out
the
the
Aston
slipstream.
Martin.
It's an audacious move at the inside. He's done it. What a driver.
He's got past the Russian Antonio Giovinazzi and he crashes his car.
It's a huge accident for Justin Freshpot.
Tiamat Marduk leaning over the pit wall, asking if he's okay. In the background, this right on board.
You see the move, Justin Freshpot into the penultimate corner. He's celebrating the overtake.
Just wasn't watching where he was going, and there's the impact.
A massive hit against the wall. There's a man leaning through the barrier who wasn't the man we saw in the live footage. Radiant Slothz now depressingly comes through the last corner, locks up. He track extends for good measure. He almost hits the wall.
Takes a wide
misses
berth.
the apex. Track extends. Passes his teammate. Doesn't even offer any support.
He had so little downforce, he couldn't make the corner and couldn't get round there. Nikita Mazepin, of course, gets driver of the day. The Russians have rigged the sport as Christian Horner celebrates Nikita Mazepin getting driver of the day. He's loving it. He's absolutely loving it right now. There's some kind of weird rainbow road in the background. I think we've just entered Mario Kart land. And amazingly, we haven't got Lando Norris winning this race, which is something that we've become quite accustomed to at this point. Unfortunately, he's so close to winning the championship, it's debatable whether or not he's going to lose it at this point.
What a race.
What a brilliant race. Norris on the podium as well. Daniel Ricciardo also on the podium, somehow suspiciously doing much better now that Radiant Slothz and Justin Freshpot are in much slower cars. Potentially a link there. Who knows? We'll have to see. But for now, that's all for the Russian Grand Prix. And there we have it. George Russell snatches the win away from Lando Norris's title rival, although I doubt it will do much to damage Lando's lead over Russell in the grand scheme of things. Daniel Ricciardo also joining the 2 Red Bulls on the podium. Then it's back to Carlos Sainz, Sergio Perez, Lewis Hamilton, Guan Yu Zhou, Pierre Gasly, Nicholas Latifi, and Justin Freshpot picking up the final point after Radiant Sloth's unfortunate late race incident. Over in the Drivers' Championship, of course, not much has changed here. Lando Norris still leads away from George Russell and Daniel Ricciardo. Then it's back to Carlos Sainz, Charles Leclerc, Lewis Hamilton, Sergio Perez, Esteban Ocon, also jumping Yuki Tsunoda since the last Grand Prix. And then Guan Yu Zhou rounds out the top 10 with Radiant Slothz still sitting around 13th position and Justin Freshpot a little way down in 15th. And over in the Constructors, Red Bull, of course, are leading as they always do. Mercedes have got a very comfortable lead over Ferrari for second place at this point. Ferrari are now being closed in by their title rivals McLaren, and they'll be hoping to try and secure third position before the end of the season. Then it's back to Alpine, Alfa Tauri, Williams, Aston Martin, Alfa Romeo and Haas. We'll catch you in the next one.